Welcome to all the classic car enthusiasts. Just give you a quick update on the Mini. I went over today and they finished the doors and the bonnet. They made a lovely job of them, but they're going to let them cure now and then they want to polish them. And the same with the body of the Mini itself. And Amir, the guy who's sitting here that helps me, he's coming back on Wednesday night, so Thursday morning we're going to collect the Mini, the shell, and on Wednesday I'll go and actually pick up the doors, because obviously I've got an SUV, but it can't take too much stuff, so I can take a door, maybe a bonnet, but not two doors. So I'll go backwards and forwards, and they're getting the wheels and everything else finished up as well. The downside is I've got the subframe down there with all the parts that I've got ready for sandblasting, and I've been a bit short-sighted with getting some of the parts, because I've had so many parts to get for these two Jaguars. There's quite a few parts that I didn't get, and so I'll be going to Mini Spares in the third week in October. I'm actually taking a trailer over to pick up a guy's Jaguar, like I mentioned before, which we're going to be doing for him. And I've got a Mini Spares at the same time and get all the other parts I need for the front suspension. And then we'll put on the rear subframe and start building it back up again. And hopefully you Mini guys will be into that. What I would say to you is you know, some of these repairs that we do to not Minis, you know, they all relate to each other. And maybe some little ideas that have come from the Jaguar might work with a Mini. So hopefully you're interested in, I mean, restoration is restoration at the end of the day, regardless whether it's a Jaguar or I don't know, whatever, something exotic, or a Mini or a Land Rover, whatever. You know, they've all got the same, they all need the same attention at some point. The only difference is obviously 60 years of rust and 20 years or 16 or 15 there's a big difference. And these cars were made of better steel, that's for sure. Anyway, just a quick shout out to Sean C. I just saw he's put up another video, and he's been away for a little while, so I hope you guys support him. I see there's quite a few guys commented back to him, and just all of us, if we all of us get together behind him and just help him on, you know, and because I think to me it's like a community, YouTube. You know, you've got Matt, myself, Mini Matt TV, DB, Total Car Reviews. There's all these guys doing these things, and we're all doing it in our own way, not all exactly the same, so you can get some good ideas or whatever you want, you know, and you can pick things from it. So I hope it's all helping, but I really would like you Mini guys to stick with us, not just for the Mini, but for the other cars as well, because there is something you might pick up that you might want to use, I don't know. Okay, just to show you now how things are, this is you saw me do the videos on the two doors we rebuilt for Johan's car, and they're completed and done. Now I'm working on my doors, which are in quite a bad state, to say the least, so I'll show you. Now this thing, the bottom of this door, has got more perforations than a Tetley tea bag. It's unreal, and I'm going to have to build a new piece. So I'll put this on and I'll just show you just how bad that is. You can see it's all the way along. I mean, it's gone completely there, but you can see it's absolutely rotten all the way along. So I'm going to have to make a new piece. Now I have a metal brake, which is from Frost. It's just, unfortunately it's too short for what I need, so I'm going to have to come up with another idea. I have an idea that I can possibly use that bead roller to make new pieces. For instance, this is the cover for it, and you can see that it's in, again, if I pull this up, you can see that that's in quite poor state underneath. So that's going to have to, and it's bad underneath as well, so I'm going to have to make a new one. So I'll go through some of the ways that I'm going to do that with you guys, and so I have to come up with some idea. So either I use that, or I make a new one that's long enough to make that panel, because I don't want to make it in sections, a lot of welding otherwise. So I'm going to pick the camera up and I'll show you just how bad this door is. So you can see here, in fact I'll keep that light off now because it's quite bright. Hopefully that'll still work out. You can see here that what somebody's done is they obviously took the door off at some point, when I don't know, but they took the door off, and obviously this panel underneath was corroded. So rather than cut it out, what they did was they brazed the new piece on top. You can see the brazing's pretty good, but even so they just plonked it on top. So that meant that hinge was further forward than it should be, or not the hinge, but the hinge plate, or the base plate. So I'm going to have to take this off and then repair the one behind it. Not repair it, but actually make a new one. So this is quite a difficult job, because obviously this edging on the door is very critical to keep. So I'm going to have to be very careful how I pick this off. But like I say, you can see how bad that is, and unfortunately it's right up the door. I'll turn this back on again and hopefully you can see, I can show you underneath. You can see that it's right up into the edge. It's not too bad along there, and then I think it's again here. So I'm going to have to be very careful how I make that panel, but certainly the whole base is gone. This here is just some surface rust, which was exactly the same on the other ones, where the strengthening bar goes across, which is basically that piece there. I'll turn this off again because this is so bright. This one here, this is from this door, and as you can see on this door, basically it's okay, but I had to take it off because of the corrosion on the inside. You can see how bad that is. So I had to come off to do that anyway. And the other problem is somebody had cut a hole in the bottom that sits like this. That sits like this on the door, inside there, on that step. And somebody had cut a hole in it. Now it's obvious to me that they cut that hole to get to this bracket plate. As you can see, that bolt there and that bolt there are completely different. So they obviously tried to get in here because they couldn't get the bolts out the hinge, or there was a problem. And that's exactly why they've done it. So what they did was they basically built a plate and they stuck it over the top like that. But this part can be seen when the door's opened. This part is where the door card sits here, but this part can be seen, so obviously I have to fabricate that again. And this is again the same situation, but this aluminium is very, very badly. There's obviously some massive reaction going on there, and there's the piece that was in it, the wood that sits in there like that. And you saw me make that, I think, on another video. But yeah, and as you can see, that's where the supports go. What actually happens here is they put felt behind this, and then they put the support inside the door. And the felt, actually I can show it you, is here. This is the felt they use. And in fact, this same felt, you can see how bad the rust is on it. This same felt was used for the edging on all the ceiling areas. So you imagine that this, obviously not this piece, but a piece was cut down and it was pushed into there, and then cut to size to make that seal. We'll use rubber, of course. The idea with these panels were they were screwed in, and so you can actually take it out and check inside, because you imagine all the crap getting built up on there would be a real problem. So, but on my car it was welded in place. On this car it was screwed in place. Anyway, so that's it for tonight. I'll do a video in a couple of days when I go and start picking the stuff up, and then one on Thursday, and because I have to go to Vienna Thursday and Friday. So thanks for watching in, and as I say, give Sean a big thumbs up. See if you can get some people to subscribe. More important, I'm not that bothered about subscriptions. I'm more interested in people who want to actually watch the video. So, you know, just give him a thumbs up, and you know, it's good to see all these guys getting after it. So take care. Bye for now. Bye.